Section 2. Video 22. Composition versus Inheritance Part 2. We have two main objectives in this video. 1. We will show that composition also works well for stateful components. 2. We will discuss inheritance with respect to React. Composition works equally well for stateful components. We will continue with the example from the previous video. First, we will import the useState hook. Instead of the welcome dialog, we will have a stateful sign-up dialog. We will have the component remember the login of the user in local state. The initial login state will be the empty string. Next, we will add some children elements to the returned dialog element. The first child will be an input for the login. When the input changes, we will fire a change handler, which we will define shortly. The second child will be a button for the user to sign up. We will add a click handler to the button, which we will also define shortly. Now, we will define the handlers. The input change handler will set the login to be the event target's current value. The button click handler will show an alert welcoming the user. Finally, the added input and button children will need to be added to the dialog component via props. Save the file and test the sign-up dialog in the browser. We will now turn to the topic of inheritance. Facebook reports that it uses React in thousands of components, and they haven't found any use cases where they would recommend creating component inheritance hierarchies. Props and composition give you all the flexibility you need to customize a component's look and behavior in an explicit and safe way. Remember that components may accept arbitrary props, including primitive values, React elements, or functions. If you want to reuse non-UI functionality between components, we suggest extracting it into a separate JavaScript module. The components may import it and use that function, object, or a class, without extending it. We will remove the code written during this video in preparation for the next video. To summarize, we showed that composition also works well for stateful components. And, we discussed inheritance with respect to React. In the next video, we will start a 6-part series called Thinking in React.